Hey guys, welcome to In Search of Tone. My name is Drew. I'm a guitarist here on YouTube, and if you're new to this channel, well, guess what? So am I. We just started out, and I think I'm going to start things out right with an unboxing video. All right, guys, so what we have here is the StewMac LP style guitar kit. And I'm really excited about this one. It's the spalted maple top, so this one should look really awesome. Let's get into it. All right, let's get started. Okay, what is in the box? All right, looks like some literature, advertisement for other tools, other kits, stuff like that. Cool, cool. All fun stuff available at StewMac. And we have the assembly instructions. Those will come in handy here. Looks like we are a 12-inch radius on the neck. Awesome possums. This video is not in any way sponsored by StewMac, by the way. Big fan of their site, however. All right, what do we got in the goodie bag? This little control plate cover. In here we've got our switch cover. Looks like some strings, some knobs, some really good looking knobs actually, some wiring. We've got our bridge, posts, three-way switch, good looking three-way switch. Awesome, loving that. What do we got in here? Oh, look, they were even nice enough to give us a little cable and an Allen wrench. Sweet. That will come in handy. I'll bet that Allen wrench is the right size for the truss rod. Not that we don't already have one, but it is good to have one nonetheless. What do we have here? Oh, look at that. We have a nice little assortment. We've got the posts. These are actually for the part of our bridge that has our saddles. We have our pots. Not the nicest looking pots I've ever seen, but I imagine they will work just fine. And we'll break into these when we go to actually assemble the guitar. We have our truss rod cover. We have our little puck or whatever they call that, our little rhythm treble switch marking. We have some more goodies for our wiring. These are the bushings for our tuning machines. And speaking of the tuning machines, let's take a look at these. Let's see what StewMac includes for tuning machines. I'm going to be honest with you. These right here, probably, if they go on the guitar at all, won't stay on long. These things are a little loose. I'm going to imagine even once we get the bushing in there, this is going to be a little loose. These gears, they don't feel the best, but in all honesty, this kit is about a $300 kit, and for everything you get, if you got to put a set of tuning machines on there, not a big deal. I'm a real big fan of those hip shot locking tuners. Things work great. They've got those universal plates, but the nice thing here is we get those and we are putting them on the headstock for the first time. We need to drill those holes anyway, so we won't need those universal plates, but I'm thinking we're going to get a nice set of those for this build. Last but not least in the goodie bag, we have our neck and our bridge pickup. Real classy looking. I like the cream rings. Again, probably this cream hardware we're not going to be using. I don't think it's going to go well with the color scheme that I'm thinking about on this build, but it is nice to have those nonetheless. And in fact, I've got a really nice LTD EC body that I think those cream rings will look really good on. Now, funny thing I did see underneath our goodie bag here, you know, one of these bags actually has strings in there, but StewMac throws these guys in there. Now, this is not a brand of strings that I generally use, but I have heard good things about them. So these may end up happening. All right, on to the body. Are you guys ready? Man. Let's see if we can get this in focus here. I don't know how much of this is going to come through, but man, oh man. I'll try to get some good still shots of this, post them in there. So, this is a mahogany body with a maple top. Now, the actual spalting is just a veneer. This is not a full spalted top, so you got to be really careful with these kits. You don't want to do a whole lot of sanding. Luckily, they're pretty well smooth sanded anyway, so you're not going to have to deal with that veneer too much. Now, there is one spot I can feel down here where it seems like maybe they didn't sand that maple top too well before they put that veneer on, but that's not going to bother us too much. We're going to get some pigment over the top of this thing. Never even going to know it's there unless you're, looking for that sort of thing. As far as the routing job, could be cleaner. Again, it's not going to be a big deal. All this is going to be covered up anyway. We're going to go ahead and get some shielding paint in there. I was going to use the tape, but I think this is going to be a little bit easier. And since this is going to be my first actual kit build, we're going to make it as easy on myself as possible until we get to finish. And I'll get into that later. Let's have a look at the neck. Oh, here we go. Man, that is beautiful. Now I'm going to have to look up on the actual materials list. I don't know if this is an actual rosewood or if it is some variant that is meant to look like rosewood, but it is a good looking neck. These frets look great. They're nice and polished. The ends, yeah, we could dress them up a little bit. Not too bad. The nut doesn't look super high. I doubt we're going to have to do a lot of work on that. And here's something that's really cool. If I can get a shot of that, you can see they've carried that spalting right out onto the headstock. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but man, that does make a difference. That looks real nice. Real quality cut on the neck. Binding looks good. I don't see anything where there's any kind of issue with how the binding was attached. There's no separation, no large amounts of glue. Honestly, this is quality. I have much more expensive bound guitars that have not as good looking bindings. So this is really good. I am impressed, especially for the price point. This is amazing. To be able to build a guitar and get it to your liking for, under $1,000, man, that is great. Now, one thing I did see with the neck, and this was to be expected, is that I'm not going to be able to get this on the camera, but these frets need to be seated. They're in there, but we are going to have to get a fret hammer. We are going to have to seat those pretty good. And we will probably have to do a leveling and a recrown. We will see. Luckily, StewMac's got us taken care of on that. Now, one other thing that I did notice on the body that we will have to take care of, this binding on the body is a little bit high right here. Nothing major, but it is going to cause a problem for us when we go to set this neck. Let's see this. The fit is great. This thing fits amazing. It's tight, it's not too tight. Like I said, this binding over here is going to have to be scraped down so that this neck fits nice and flush, but the joint is perfect. We're not going to have to do any sanding, no special fitting. This thing's going to go together real well. All right, I said we were going to talk about the finish. Now's a good time. So what I'm going to try to do on this one, and it could just kill the project. It's going to look cool no matter what happens, but I want to do a dark cherry burst on this. I've always wanted a dark cherry burst Les Paul. If you don't know what that is, you got that nice dark cherry red in the center, fading into black on the sides. I think this cream binding is going to stand out really good on that. I don't, however, like I said, think that those pickup rings are going to look real good with that. And I don't know, we'll see about these covers over here. But I do have those rings off of that other LP style guitar, my LTD EC. And I really think that those cream rings are going to look great on the EC, whereas the black rings that are on it will look great against that red. So we'll see how that works out in my future videos. Like I said, I'm kind of waiting right now on the build process. I've been waiting to do this video since Christmas. This was a Christmas gift for my wife. It's a little bit cold in Washington, and my workspace out in my garage is just a little bit dirtier right now. So we will get started on that here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, I appreciate you spending your time with me. Like I said, this is a brand new channel, so please like, subscribe, share the channel. We're just getting started here. I'm going to have a lot more things going on. I am a worship guitarist, and so that's mainly my style, but that's not everything that we're going to be looking at. A lot of the things that we're going to be looking at is different styles of pickups, different pedals, different amps, things that work for my genre, but we'll also be getting some other stuff as well, like I said. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for spending your time with me. Goodbye.